Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The Evident AI Symposium main program is about to begin, with a welcome from your Evident co-founders, Annabel and Alexandra.
Just waiting for the music to die. It's quite vibey, actually. Welcome to the Evident AI Symposium in London. It's our inaugural London Symposium, and it's so great to see so many of you here in the room from London, from across Europe, from the US, and banks from Asia and Australia and the Middle East. So a huge welcome to everyone. And also welcome to everyone on the live stream who are joining virtually from around the world. Just dip in and out. Everything's being recorded, and the sessions will be on our website in the coming days. Also, a very big thank you to our partners, our headline sponsor, EY, our media partner, Reuters, and our supporting partners, Snowflake, Samba Nova, and Cognize. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. So 16 months ago, we launched the Evident AI Index to rank, for the first time ever, banks on their AI capabilities. And we have been so thrilled to see the response to the index. And also, really, a huge thanks to everyone who have engaged with us and talked to us about the findings and the methodology throughout the way, and many of you are here in the room today. And as you know, we set up Evident to map the 50 biggest banks in North America and Europe and APAC on their AI capabilities. And we do that, and we also sort of along the way, we do throughout the, between the index updates, you track very, very closely what's happening across the sector in terms of all of the AI activities that is taking place. And we look and analyze that data and publish that on a monthly basis. And I know many of you will have those reports in your inbox. But what we also do is that we do, apart from our symposiums here, the first one in London and the one we did in New York in November, and we do 2 a year, we host regular roundtables because there's so many questions that come up. So we want to make sure that we're constantly having the debate, picking up on the questions that are most top of mind for everyone here in the room on the big questions around AI and AI adoption. So the index showed us that the North American banks were dominating the top of the index, with 12 of the North American banks taking the top 20 spots, with some of the bigger European banks also performing very, very well. But what we've seen recently, or seen sort of between the first index run and the second, and also through the data that we're mining, is that there's this growing gap between the leading banks and the lagging banks. So we're taking a close look at that, sort of why and what's happening. But in any event, what we have seen is a complete sea change across the sector on strategy and execution. We've seen that banks are revising their group-wide AI strategies, moving to more top-down oversight and centralized decision-making. We've also seen this growth in research teams being established, patents being filed, and a cascade of AI-related activities that are being announced, and a growing number of partnerships with hyperscalers. So we're at this really interesting point today between 2 index updates. And what is clear is that the activities are only picking up. The quest for AI talent has not ceased. And what we also see is this growing and tighter correlation between AI maturity and the bank's bottom line. So while we see that the North American banks are leading, all banks in the index are focusing and refocusing on AI. And a lot of activities we're seeing from the European banks. The European banks are picking up pace in activity and sort of thinking and reorganizing. And we're really excited to see how this might play out in the index update in October. So the next index update is in October. Meanwhile, I'm going to hand over to my co-founder, Annabel, who's going to take us through some of the questions that are top of mind for the banks, the conversations, fed by the conversations that we have with all the banks in the last 6 months.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Evident AI Symposium. It's so good to see you here today. So as Alexandra mentioned, AI has never been more top of mind for the banks. But what really have they been focusing on for the last 6 months? We really focus on 3 areas. The first one is execution. So really identifying, prioritizing the AI use cases that will deliver value. It's then getting those use cases into production and assessing and measuring the ROI of those use cases once they've gone live. The second one is really the enablers, all of the other things that are enabling banks to adopt AI at scale. So adapting their data strategies to enable their AI strategies. Lots of banks are establishing centralized AI platforms, if they haven't got them already, to enable AI tools that are used in one line of the business to be reused across the organization. And they're also adapting their AI governance processes in the midst of emerging regulation to make sure that they are minimizing AI risks in multiple jurisdictions. And finally, they've been focusing on innovation. We know banks aren't operating in a vacuum. There are many AI developments on the horizon, accelerating at pace, and also quantum. I think we're going to hear a bit about that today, but the quantum era is really on the horizon. So banks are actively thinking about what they need to do to prepare for those innovations as they accelerate and arrive. So it's no surprise that those are precisely the topics that we're covering today in today's agenda. We're delighted that we've got experts from so many banks around the world on the stage, but also in the audience. The audience is chock full of leading experts across the banks too. So please do weigh in, stick up your hand, say what you think. There are Q&A components of many of the panels. We'd love to hear from you. And before we shut up and we hand over to Ryan and the first panel, just a quick reminder, panels run from 9 till 5. There are 8 of them, brilliant experts. We then have breaks in the morning and the afternoon for coffee, for networking, and an hour for lunch at 12:30. And then there is a drinks reception at the end of the day from 5. So it would be fantastic to meet as many of you as possible. And please do stick around. So lovely to see you all. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Thank you.